Airbus plane engine falls apart over the Atlantic. An Air France flight en route from Paris to Los Angeles was forced to make a slight detour when one of its engines disintegrated over the Atlantic on Saturday. The Airbus A380 was just east of Greenland carrying 496 passengers and 24 crew members when one of its engines experienced a serious failure. According to passengers, there was a loud boom and then a lot of shaking. Luckily, the fast-acting pilots quickly shut the engine down and were able to stabilize the plane in under 30 seconds. The plane flew for about an hour on 3 engines before arriving at Goose Bay Airport in eastern Canada. 2 777s were eventually sent from Montreal to pick up the passengers and take them the rest of the way to LA. The cause of the engine failure is still unknown and currently being investigated. Thank you for choosing Tomo Air. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Spirit Airlines plane spews parts after Detroit takeoff. The FAA is looking into why a Spirit Airlines plane was spewing parts after a Detroit airport takeoff on Monday night. The Spirit flight from D-Town to Hotlanta was forced to return to Detroit Metro Airport after experiencing engine failure. The plane was able to land safely without incident, but unfortunately dumped a bunch of engine pieces into the yards of Detroit residents. The FAA sent investigators to look into what went wrong and to examine the recovered engine parts. The investigation should be concluded in the coming weeks. According to one passenger on the flight, the plane was at about 5,000 feet when there was a large bang that caused the aircraft to shake and shudder. The passenger said the right engine was on fire, sparking, and losing pieces. And here we thought it was just Spirit trying to save money by getting rid of plane engines. Airlines made $44.6 billion charging for extras. The world's greediest and biggest airlines raked in around $44.6 billion in passenger fees and commissions last year. Some budget airlines, Spirit, get almost half their total revenue from charges for bags, food, entertainment, and other extras, aka things that used to be free. Airlines around the world are increasingly making more and more money from fees, frequent flyer programs, and commissions for directing passengers to hotels and car rental companies. The $44.6 billion bamboozled by the 66 biggest airlines was a 10% increase over 2015. Over the past 10 years, airlines have gotten really good at charging you for stuff that used to come with your flight. The biggest airlines made an estimated 9.7% of their revenue from ancillary fees. Budget airlines derived an even bigger chunk of their cash from fees and commissions. For example, Spirit Airlines was at 46.7%, while Frontier Airlines was at 42.4%. Spirit actually charges you for almost 40 different extras, such as $2 to print a boarding pass at an airport kiosk and up to $50 just to choose your seat. Word is Spirit is looking to get passengers to pay extra for engines and pilots. Okay, maybe not, but who knows? Anyone know when that Hyperloop gets finished?
Chinese woman throws coins into plane engine for good luck. A woman delayed a Shanghai flight for several hours after she had the oh-so-Chinese idea of tossing coins into the airplane's engine for good luck. According to a passenger, the 80-year-old woman tossed 9 coins at the engine of China Southern Airlines flight CZ380 while she was boarding on the tarmac. Unfortunately, one of the coins found its way into the engine. Officials were forced to evacuate almost 150 passengers from the flight bound for Guangzhou, while the maintenance crew checked for any damage to the engine. The old woman, who was traveling with family, was detained by police. She told authorities she was praying for a safe flight. What's that old Chinese proverb about throwing money in engines? Oh yeah, there isn't one.
Singapore Airlines flight lands on runway and catches fire. During the early morning hours of June 27th, a Singapore Airlines flight to Milan found itself in a scary situation. Roughly 2 hours into the journey, the 222 passengers and 19 crew members on board the Boeing 777 were notified by the pilot of an engine oil warning message, which would force the plane to have to turn back to Singapore. As the pilot was making an emergency landing at Changi Airport, suddenly the plane's right engine burst into flames. Fire crews rushed to douse the fire as passengers could only watch from their seats, trapped on board. Many have been reported as saying they felt they were about to die. Luckily, within minutes, the fire was extinguished, with no injuries to report. Passengers safely disembarked from the plane and were put on a new flight to Italy a few hours later.